What's up, Sins Enjoyers? I'm back with another breakdown, this time for the version 1.2 update. The sun rises again. I know I said this last time, but this time there really will be a lot to cover. So as always, feel free to use the timestamps if you're trying to skip around. Before we get into everything, head over to your mailbox to pick up today's freebies. We have 300 fragments and an additional 300 for those who completed a survey, and finally 3,000 fragments for the 1.2 update. We also have 5 premium tickets, 500,000 gold, and 3 cube bundles. And before we move on, don't forget to type in these coupon codes for even more rewards. Now, without wasting too much time, the one is here. Wielder of the Grace of Sunshine, Escanor. I would say before summoning on him that you could head to his trial to see what he does, but who am I kidding? We're all summoning. So just so you know, the trial is there if you need it. He also comes along with his special skin banner and his weapon skin, Divine Axe Rita. Which, fair warning, I've heard it can take up to $60 guaranteed to get everything you're after. So as usual, since I don't win, I'm skipping that bait. Alongside the new character, Netmarble has prepared multiple events for us. First, we have a check-in event where if you log in for every day, you can get rewarded with some premium summon tickets, some free mounts, and a variety of upgrade materials. Also, we have the Promise of Hope event, which seems to be more or less the same as the Britannian Expedition event, where you complete a set of tasks either through exploration or crafting, and you get some currency to spend in an exchange shop where you can grab things like Escanor's outfit, star fragments, and other upgrade materials. Now, on to the new content. First up, we've got a new region, My Sweet Gluttony, located just south of Vanya, and in this new region there are a couple of new materials to gather. Alongside that, we have the main quest Act 13 for some more story content to push through. But don't worry, I won't spoil what's happening in this story like the live stream did and many of you pointed out. We've also got a new boss challenge, Gallant of Truth, available in Nightmare, Hell, and Abyss difficulties. He drops materials you need for crafting Escanor's new weapon. He also drops some armor pieces for the new engravings that I'll get into in a little bit. So this is probably going to be one of your new farming targets. Speaking of difficulty, Frozen Mines now has a Hell and Abyss difficulty, where you can get the remaining pieces of the new armor set. For this next piece of content, they also mentioned it during the first dev note, but it seems to be our Tower of Trials endgame content, the Time-Space Junction Season 1. It's basically a stage content mode where new areas unlock over time, and the first part opens on April 29th with the first boss being Marmus. As mentioned earlier, we also got some engraved equipment updates. More heroes like Meliodas, Gila, and even Daisy are getting access to more engraved gear. But you can also preview the stats and passives before crafting these gears, which frankly I have no idea why this wasn't there from the start, but it's a good update nonetheless. On the crafting side, the workbench level is now increased to level 6 with even more things to craft. And you can also craft armor sets directly instead of relying purely on the RNG drops. Also worth mentioning, we don't have much info on these yet, but 6 new pets have been added through things like crafting, capturing, and fishing. Now let's talk about the quality of life improvements. They've improved gathering and mining tracking again. This time you can continuously track targets after collecting them. So hopefully it actually works as intended this time. They acknowledged multiple times the overwhelming amount of requests they were receiving for these fixes, so I for one am very glad they got onto it right away. They also made elite and boss enemies more rewarding. Now they have a small chance to drop materials for mastery and crafting, so farming in the open world actually has more purpose now without using any type of keys. And finally, rewards are now delivered instantly instead of going to your mailbox. I always found that to be a bit weird, so good change. There's also a very long list of bug fixes that I'll include here on screen for you now. I won't go into every single one of them because I personally haven't encountered many of them and there's seriously way too much to go over, but feel free to pause and scroll through it all. Overall, this update feels a lot more content heavy than the last one. Finally fixed, well, almost everything I had a problem with in this game, but I'd like to take a quick second to bring the final issue I have to people's attention. Currently, every character in game has an engravable set of SR armor. Engraving armor nets you 500 fragments, so you're encouraged to do it. Even if you can't engrave the SSR for everyone, at least you can do the SRs, right? Unfortunately, as of right now, SR armors become impossible to obtain once you leave world level 3. And if you want to get them again, you need to downgrade your world, which means less materials per key spent. Please Netmarble, this is a bit wasteful and I feel like you could make it at least like Grand Cross or even Star Rail, where you can farm both the SR and SSR pieces for the same amount of keys. This is all I ask, and then the game would be perfectly enjoyable for decades to come. Thanks for listening. Now I know the only thing everybody, including myself, cares about is Escanor, so don't let me hold you. If I missed anything, drop it in the comments to help your fellow gamers out, and good luck on your Escanor summons. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.